Heyo guys, I'm Larson and this is Dear Esther. So this is a popular indie game and it's won numerous awards. Chinese Room got popular from this game. It's published by them, of course, and they later went on to help make Machine for Pigs, or at least help with the story. So if you've never seen a Machine for Pigs or watched a Let's Play or never played through it, it can be quite cryptic. And yeah, it's about how far this game goes. I just want to fill everyone in. I'm running on the maximum resolution. This will be one of the few videos I will be putting in 180p. So use that if you want. It's a very beautiful game with a gripping story, and I have no clue what the fuck is happening in it. I played through once, didn't really understand. I have a friend who loves this game. I believe it's one of his favorites. There's a particular scene in here which he liked very much. And we're gonna play through maybe a couple of times, see what pieces you get together, and I'll try to piece what I can. Alright, let's get started. Ah, the loading screen. The best part about video games. Now, I've never ran it on a beefy computer. I've had to do the bad resolution before, but right before this I beefed everything up, so it should be looking beautiful.
Dear Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Personally, I'd want to close my eyes if I was going to fall, but it's probably symbolic of something. Excuse me? Hello? Hello? My name's Larson? Hello? I'm not going to use that, it's kind of dirty. No amount of tissue paper can save me from the dirt on that. What's this? Good jump? No. Was it a hair breeding history? Air breeding history? Not really sure. There's a bunch of stuff here. Now, what is that? It's obviously I don't know the name of it, but it's telling me some form of chemical. There's carbons, oxygens, and hydrogens. Wonder if Guy knows. Guy's the friend I was talking about, of course, that says he loves this game. Alright. Oh! Well, thank you for crouching for me, video game. Now, something I noticed about this game before, and I've heard several people talk about it, is it's severely lacking a running mechanic. I have to walk through this whole entire thing. And normally I would speed you guys on through it and just let me suffer, but since there's a lot of beauty to this game with enjoying the environment and the immersion, I'm just gonna let it be, unless there is a sincerely boring part like the same rock we're seeing over and over again, though still kind of pretty in a desolate kind of way. Let's just walk along the edge here. So as you can see, the main guy was talking about how long he's been here, walking around so much that he's able to go over obstacles like the rocks and whatnot without tripping. So we've been here for fucking ever. Obviously he hasn't tried swimming out. Clearly that's the answer. What's the... excuse me? Oh, it's a crab trap, I think. I think those are crab tracks. You like sink them in water and pull behind your ship and they catch crabs and stuff. They're not really working too well on the beach, to be honest. Alrighty. Let's see here. Hero is in it.
Those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Alright, dude. So there's no help in the distance on the islands. Clearly. Now, if you ever watched a run through... Whoa, what's this? What in the hell? Oh, is this an island? This is north. I think, right? In north? Yes? No? Actually, it looks like a frame forward button. No, it's an arrow. Oh. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I'm terribly stupid. Alright, let's look. Splash. Wow, look at that. I really missed out a lot when I didn't play this on a beefy computer.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
So he's gonna leave a torch, judging by his accent, probably a flashlight, at his gravestone. That's what I understand. So am I dead then? Nah. Probably no. Well, I have no feet, so maybe I am. Maybe I am dead. Or maybe I just have no feet, and I've mastered the ability to hover. Let's see here. Alright, sorry guys, I went a couple feet without you. Here, I'll even go back. Alright, I had a little derpy moment with my recording software. Well, the recording software didn't go bad. I guess the, my brain went bad. I guess that's what we're on there. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Yep, okay, so those are the islands we were talking about before. Sweet. Just the nice ocean breeze. It's better than Febreze over here. There's a lighthouse. That's cool. That's a cool lighthouse. Well, this is exciting. But once again, this is one of the indie games that walk the line, in my opinion.
By the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
Alright, so a guy named Donnelly appeared on the island. Don't know how he fits in with the story, but Donnelly. And we got Esther, and we got this guy.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid, or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Alright, first of all, chalk that's natural like that is called chert, and it's actually fossilized organisms from long, long ago.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Okay, I have no clue what the fuck to make of that. I'll be honest here. But from the last one, the previous one I should say, Apparently, he doesn't want anyone saving him, so maybe this Donald guy was the problem. Donald was his name, right? Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was. Oh, getting
Dear
over
Esther,
here.
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Huh. I don't understand. Alright, so there's a sickness. Let's go this way. There's a sickness, apparently, and it's not of the flesh, so it's not a literal sickness. Perhaps it's madness? Perhaps, I mean. I, once again, am not quite sure what to make of this game. And I'm not sure if I finished my thought before about A Machine for Pigs, but anyone that watched through that, or played through it, better yet, it's a great game, great indie game. Amnesias are always fantastic and great with atmosphere. But its story is so cryptic, I couldn't deal with it. I had to look up the wiki to figure out what's happening. And after looking up the wiki, it was actually quite a complex and impressive story. That was just the writing in it was difficult to understand. But they got famous, Chinese Room did, off this version. And they were even praised by Square Enix later on. So that's cool. Oh, stones. Is this where the dead people live? Okay, wow, look at this game. It really is pretty, especially for an indie game. It's $10 on Steam, I believe. And I've seen it cheaper during large sales and whatnot. Oh, there's another one. This one has nitrogen in it. Excuse me? There's a bibble. Alright. Don't know what to make of these stones. They look man-made. They all have flat tops. But they've been there forever. They have moss growing on them. Odd. Are they gravestones? There was a Bible at the foot, so maybe. Oh, just gonna keep on walking. So, there are multiple things you can find in this game, so I'm not sure how many playthroughs. I'm gonna do one and see how well it does. And if I get so many views, or I guess want to do another one, I'll go ahead and do that. Loading screen means we made it to the new area. Level 2! This game is so difficult.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn off for Sanford and the welcome break services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay, so he's talking to Esther. I'm starting to think Esther is dead. Actually, I'm quite certain Esther is dead. He's talking about he can't find a location of something. It sounds like a car or whatnot. Do we want to go down there? Yeah, let's go down there. I wonder if there's fall damage in this game. Let's find some high shit to jump off of. Test it. Okay, so we got a ship over here. Not just any ship, a friendship. Okay, maybe it's not a friendship. Doesn't look too friendly, does it? Starting to think. Pretty sure this island is uninhabited. Just a whim. I cannot jump in this game. This man is incapable of jumping. However, he can float. So, that's cool. Okay. Well, I swear, is there anything over here? Am I just investigating old shitty packages full of... what is this, beans? Oh no, it's primer. It's paint. The fact that they made it that detailed, that's a sign of a really well made game. All except for the part where they didn't add a run mechanic. You could slow me down when I hit the talkie parts. Is that difficult to program? I guess they wanted me to enjoy the scenery. Anyway, I was talking about It Walks the Line earlier, and in my opinion, this is a bit of a pretentious game. Because there's a bit of,
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Ah, so he's a hermit. Hermit. Anyway, there's a big hoo-ha in video gaming, or at least I always hear there is, of whether or not video games are truly art, and this walks the pretentious line of trying to not be a video game and trying to be art. And it's a compelling story and it's cryptic reading, and I enjoy this game. But the fact that it tries to be art so hard, so much, turns me off to it a bit, so it always keeps it from being...
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Okay, so Esther's dead by a drunk driver. Somewhere between Bristol and an E word I don't understand. I know the outlining where Bristol is. Anyway, pretentious line, this game, so it always keeps from being high on my favorite indie games. Though one of my favorite indie games is To the Moon, and I always felt it was art, even though it was made in RPG Maker. It told a great story, had great atmosphere, beautiful music, and with its minimalistic, and I use that word lightly, art style, it was really cool to play through. I would encourage anyone to download that game. It's on Steam for like $5, and then I think on the summer sale it was like 99 cents, and I'm sure it'll be on sale again. And it's been in several humble bundles, as has this game. Wow, look at that. Look at the tower over there. Oh yeah, I found out I can zoom in the little break we had.
It's only at night that this place makes any sluggish effort at life. You can see the buoy and the aerial. I've been taking to sleeping through the day in an attempt to resurrect myself. I can feel the last days drawing upon me. There's little point now in continuation. There must be something new to find here. Some nook or some cranny that offers a perspective worth clinging to. I've burnt my bridges. I've sunk my boats and watched them go to water.
Okay, so he's trying to search for some meaning, from what I understood. I have no clue. I don't understand. And what's up with the chemicals drawn on the wall? Obviously those are important somehow. Am I just going backwards? Yeah, I jumped off this cliff. Okay, sorry about that. Use the fast forward technology now. Alrighty, we're back. So, oh, wait, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? Obviously this was the wrong place to go. Go, fast forward. Alright guys, I'm sure I stopped the fast forward by now. So, I'm a hermit, I'm searching for something on the island. My wife is dead. And did I find another fucking roadblock? Oh, this is where I came. God damn it. Ah. Ah. Aha! Alright. I found it. I got the trail. I'm on the trail. Sweet. So yeah, I was talking about it being a bit pretentious, particularly with forcing me to enjoy the scenery. Like, if I want to relive this game like I am right now, I have to still walk through the entire thing. At least when I complete the game, give me the choice to run through, and you can slow me down when he starts talking and we're filling in the beautiful story you guys have written. But, yeah, don't force me to look at every single fucking plant and rock. But it really is a nice game. I know I sound kind of depressing and I dislike this game, but it really is probably one of my favorite indie games. And one of the pictures in the beginning of the game, or the thumbnails, I suppose, for this game, is this right here.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft, and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the airing and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
What the hell is this? It looks like some form of drug. He said before he was sick and the anesthetic, but I doubt he was sick in here, was he? Wow. These, I used to work at a scout camp, and we had to cut down old trees and make these trails out of that. They were such a pain in the ass. Well, it's good we have one large piece of wood here. And that was part of community service. We'd help with trails and whatnot.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife with a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Wow, that's depressing. So the white lines were supposed to warn people? Or get them to come over here? I am unsure.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs, and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
And it came back with the tide. Fascinating. Don't know what the book's about. We're looking through this guy's place. They were very particular about the shepherd, so maybe this was his house. Hello, friend? Wow. What's that over there? We're getting into my friend's favorite part of the game. Or we will eventually, I suppose. It's one of the, I don't know how to say this. It is a very referential moment in the game. It's very iconic of it. Really, it's impressive what they did with it, and I can't wait to see it in full resolution. Wow. Reminds me of the Cliffs of Dover. Not the song.
Jacobson's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
And we saw a seabird, a seagull, I suppose, fly away. How poetic.
They found Jacobson in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
It was the shaft from before. We saw it when we came up, I think. Well, this boat's been here for fucking ever. Mast is still there. That's nice. I bet they used a lot of this wood to make that trail above. Where the hell did they get goats from? I just thought of that. If this is a wrecked island and we're all hermits and that guy was up there and he had there was a lot of people working, I'm confused. I'm confused now.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Okay, first of all, you can't break your legs, you have none. Second of all, wow, what's this over here? Some two-dimensional clothes, cool. Sweet, some there. Looks like someone just tossed a briefcase down here. Oh, is this where I fell? Is this where I fell? Why would I carry a briefcase of clothes if I'm stranded on an island? Normally one set of clothes does for anyone. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see here. So, let's recount some. I'm stranded on an island. I'm looking for something. Obviously, there's a sickness. Not quite a real sickness. Esther is dead by a drunken car wreck. We're talking about a shepherd that has real no purpose to the story besides he was stranded on the island as well as I. And we're falling down. We've apparently hurt our femur, though we're keeping the same pace for some reason. And we're going into one of my favorite parts and a friend of mine's favorite part.